Hi everyone, and welcome here to a very informal video. I would like to ask you something. Perhaps you can help me out with something. I'm working currently here on indexing the scores, that historical 19th century scores, some of them first prints, some of them I've been collecting for over 20 years, and a large part of this, and actually there's way more in the bookshelf there, is donated to me by E.L.Gratia, and that's the man who doing this tempo research with, if you don't know who he is. And I have, going through these scores, I'm indexing them on my computer since they're just lying on a pile without use, because it's so much that I even don't know what's in there. And of course, it's invaluable information for tempo research and for performance practice in general. Many of those, of course, we find on Petrucci, but not all of them. I can tell there are some scores that really are interesting and I don't find any traces for. And that's one of those scores I would like you to ask if you know something more on this, or you find something on internet, or maybe in a library, a university library perhaps. And the thing is that, I was indexing Chopin, etude Chopin scores in general. I will go through these scores once they're indexed, because some of them are really, really interesting to show you, and what we can learn from that. That's the most important thing, of course. But just checking the things, and if there are some elements that catch my attention. I came across this score. I will show it to you on screen a little bit larger. It's a print from around 1910, 1915 perhaps. It has actually three works. One of them is Chopin, unfortunately only one, an etude, and then it has some popular music, and there is a date of 1912. Now, I assume, since it's one bundle, that this complete score is published around 1912. And seeing the title Etude Opus 10 number 3, so that's the famous Lento piece, it apparently is a part of a series, but there is no trace on the Petrucci library, so on IMSLP, nor Google search, book search, or archive.org. I don't find any traces from this. But this Mister Gratia of Gratia, who was a teacher and pianist at the time, which very little information is available on Google as well. He did something in this score which I have never seen before. This E major etude is indicated by Chopin with the metronome number of 8 note 100. It's been played very, very seldomly in that tempo, if ever. This is one of those pieces that's being played often much slower, even close to double beat. And it's not a misprint, because this metronome number has been repeated all over and over again in the 19th century. I have here the Mikuli edition, who is not commenting on that number either, even also not Kulak or from Bülow, so the second generation after Chopin. They just repeat that number as many, many, many others. So this is really one of the first editions to say, well, it's not, without explanation, he says Lento monotropo 8 note 54 to 76, meaning by that probably the range of tempo rubato, which was early 20th century, done like that, maybe a little bit more than in Chopin's time. But anyway, this is actually a very strange score, 8 note 54, where Chopin says 8 note 100. So that's magical. It's a single beat, of course, but this single beat, if this is single beat and correct, then Chopin by definition is double beat, and also correctly double beat. It's of course a pity that we don't have the fast etudes or other works published by this Mister Gratia, who didn't seem to care at all about the tradition of... I should rephrase it. Maybe he cared about the tradition, but he didn't care about changing the tradition of metronomizing works into a new way, which it is so strange that around 1910, 1915, more even, I don't know why, but many of such changes appear to have from single to double beat. It has from double to single beat. It has always existed alongside each other with a clear focus on double beat in the 19th century. But around this period, there is a sudden shift. We have seen the mind-blowing episodes with Marcel Punt on Max Reger and Straub. It's one of the most striking stories on double beat, 1915 even, that Reger changed from double beat to single beat. There's no other explanation. Puño's book on Chopin contains some remarkable quotes. 1914, I will bring those. And this 1912, and there are other things happening there. So if you know who this Mr. E.L.Gratia is, please let me know in the comment section or just send me an email. And if you have links to more of these works, maybe you have some at home or you find some in your local library or university library, make a picture photograph and send it to me. I would be very grateful to your contribution. So that was all for this video. We will, as promised, go through the scores, not one by one, but sharing with you the collection. This is really an interesting collection by now. Some mind-blowing books as well. And then one of the ideas is in future time on YouTube here to introduce a series. I don't know which title it will have. Probably tempo clues or tempo indications, little things that point towards an insight in how this piece could be meant to be played by either the composer itself. It can be fingering, it can be a metronome mark, it can be anything that's in the score, it can be in the notation that leads us to, that has such an important or such a symbolic value. If you take it as a part of tempo research, that I just want to share with you short videos, because there is a lot. Just to close this video, working now on Beethoven. Here on this piano, that's the Frenzel 1820 that was given to me by Lawrence. My pianoforte is about to come, so we'll have two. But I'm practicing now a lot on that piano to learn the language of the instrument, and it's really, really, really interesting. But starting from the Simrock Bonn edition, from Czerny. Czerny is really close to Beethoven. I'm so convinced of that. So we make videos on that relationship as well. But there, the fingering, that's really interesting. Really interesting. Even for me now, it's shocking that I didn't see that relationship between Czerny fingering and Beethoven performance practice earlier. But yeah, that's how it is in life. You evolve, and that's a fascinating thing of this this never-ending search and journey to try to come as close to the original idea of the composer. We know we will never succeed in doing really 100% of reaching that goal 100%, but that's even the more fascinating. I'm so happy we don't have recordings of those people. I would love to have a recording, honestly, but yeah, since we don't have a recording, it's a never-ending research, and those little things that you find hard to do to share with you on YouTube, because you need to set up a video format that's interesting, tell a story, and YouTube simply doesn't work for videos under 30 or 40 seconds. I don't know, but you need an introduction. You know what I'm talking about, this formal way of making videos. But it's a pity that I cannot share all those little snapshots that happen during the day with you, finding these things. But again, I'll try to find a format to fit those moments in. So, Mr. Gratia, I would be very thankful to you if you could tell me a little bit more on his life and work. And certainly, I think he was in the US, but I don't know for sure. Certainly if you find more scores. That was all for today. Thank you for watching. Don't forget to subscribe and to participate this fascinating journey of tempo research. It's more than that. It's a performance practice, because with the change of tempo, there comes a different performance practice, and that's the hard thing. That's something that needs a lot of time. So thanks for watching again. Thanks for subscribing, and see you soon again. Bye.